For example, for me, it's 1. A good smelling cologne. 2. My dog wagging his tail when I get home. 3. Seeing instant karma. Story 1. I really enjoy cooking for my wife and children. I am looking at a freshly mowed yard. I received a surprise refund check in the mail. My dog is lying next to me on the couch. Story 2. When it is dusk after a rainstorm and the light makes everything take on an almost surreal look, it feels as if the world is being put through a filter. I enjoy going outside and simply standing in it. Story 3. 1. Being well-dressed. A crisp, cold early morning in autumn. Brita filtered water. My favorite cup, bowl, spatula, and more. Looking at myself in the mirror in the morning when bodies appear slimmer after a proper meal and rest. When someone asks me to reach something high for them in public, and it makes them happy that I helped. Eyeballing seasoning and having the food come out great, though I often forget what I did. Inside jokes. When an argument turns into a silly realization, transforming it into playful banter where we laugh and forget it ever happened. 10. When someone says good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Story 4. When I walk through the front door or pick him up from daycare, my son comes running to me with his arms up, wanting a hug from daddy. Seriously cute. Story 5. Meditation does not depend on your skill level or circumstances. It brings you stillness and peace. Story 6. Spending time alone is enjoyable. I just cleaned my house while listening to my favorite music on my speakers. The dogs are playing, the weather is nice, and I'm sipping on my favorite energy drink. Life is good. Story 7. Cruising my Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 on a sunny day. Even if there is traffic, doesn't matter. I just enjoy that car. Story 8. 1. Cat purring. 2. Dog wagging its tail. 3. Compliments. I won't know how to react. I'll probably just look at you confused and say thanks. But it does make me happy. Taking my shoes off when I get home. Ice cream. 6. A cold draft beer after a long, difficult workday. Shaving. I use a double-edged razor and enjoy the ritual. The crack of a baseball bat. When I get all green lights on my way downtown. 10. Weekly gatherings with friends. 11. Shifting a manual transmission. 12. Laughter. Story 9. How my bed feels after a long day at work and the gym. When my pets show affection. A friend or family member reaching out to me. A nice home-cooked meal. Story 10. A good breakfast with a slice of cake or a croissant and a cappuccino. A relaxing walk in a park. And sitting on the couch reading a good book. I may have an emotionless stare, but these things bring me real happiness. Story 11. Silly play with my toddler. Fatherhood is the most tiring thing I have ever done, but it is so rewarding. Story 12. This might be an unusual opportunity, but I had the chance to attend a preview screening for an upcoming movie. Story 13. Rain, a cool breeze, my children's laughter, finishing a job, and knowing the vehicle is better than when it arrived. I usually don't get much rain, typically experiencing hot winds. My children laugh a lot and I fix everything that comes into my bay. I haven't received affection since the night after I got married. So there are ups and downs. Story 14. A nice drive, rain or shine, is enjoyable as long as there isn't too much traffic. I also love a night drive and appreciate a hot cup of coffee on a cold day. Additionally, receiving a compliment is always nice, as it is rare. Story 15. I don't know if it's considered small, but I seek recognition. I feel like I'm invisible to the world unless I'm being severely disliked. Story 16. Standing on my deck in the rain. The contented sigh my dog makes after a long walk when she goes to nap. The water is very cold. Story 17. Sitting on the lakeshore at night, looking at the city skyline while sipping coffee and listening to my favorite music. Story 18. Getting off work at noon on a long weekend Friday. Getting the right size wrench or socket the first time. A perfectly cooked steak. Drinks that feel like they were pulled straight out of a glacier on the hottest summer days. Story 19. 1. My dog. 2. Good food. 3. The sauna after a hard workout. 4. intimacy and sexual activity. 5. Sleeping on the beach. Story 20. Having free time to unwind and relax. Prepared food. Cool air-conditioned room. Fresh air and birds chirping in the morning when I wake up and no one else is awake. A nice cup of coffee. Story 21. When my wife packs my lunch or makes my plate, I can drop my bag and sit with my family as soon as I walk through the door. Story 22. When a friend messages me unexpectedly, I am spending time with my nephew, painting a picture, and fishing. Story 23. The girl I love smiled at me and held eye contact the other day. I noticed the way her eyes crinkle when she smiles. I have never seen anything more beautiful or endearing in my life. I can't get that image of her out of my head. I will forever remember that moment, even though it felt insignificant. Story 24. Being hugged or held after having a really bad day is so comforting. Sometimes, I struggle to cope and need an outlet for my feelings. I get scared that I might never feel that comfort again, especially since it has been almost half a year since I last saw my partner. I fear they might leave because we are far apart, and physical touch is our primary way of expressing love. I am unsure of what to do now because if we break up, it will be the first time I have ever experienced a breakup, and my heart will be broken. Aside from relationships, I believe the best thing is listening to favorite music and playing games with your best friends, enjoying laughter together. Story 25. 1. Witnessing a moment of innocence from a close friend, loved one, or child. A crisp, cold early morning in autumn, especially in a quiet rural area, is truly delightful. Listening to artists like Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan inspires deep thought. Enjoying late-night drives. Seeing something go well for someone you care about brings joy. Building or fixing something allows you to focus entirely and let everything else fade away. Story 26. When I walk near train tracks and a huge freight train rumbles by, I don't know why, but it makes my day. Story 27. Hearing a train in the distance. Looking at the world with my contact lenses in. Even when it is not beautiful, it is beautiful. Story 28. Making small improvements to my home, whether it's fixing a light or replacing a skillet, can make life a little easier. Story 29. Playing golf is enjoyable. Even the worst rounds of golf are better than the worst experiences I have faced in life, so I am grateful for every opportunity one have to play. Story 30. I haven't been truly happy for a long time. I kind of forgot what makes me happy. For now, I'm just okay with daily life. Story 31. When my cat curls up next to me or on my chest and uses my hand as a pillow, my heart melts every single time. Story 32. An empty winding road after a rain shower. Beautiful rolling scenes of trees in autumn, when the temperature drops below 60 degrees for the first time in the year. Snow on Christmas. Dogs. Being able to teach a child something and watching them improve. Seeing my truck anytime, anywhere. Compliments from women. Watching women engage well with children. Thinking of my future family. Walking out early in the morning, hearing nothing but birds. Discussing a car build with someone. Talking with someone about a subject they are passionate about. Story 33. When I fix something, even if it's as small as tightening a loose screw, extending its life always makes me happy. I also love a good-smelling cologne. Making kids laugh brings me joy. Story 34. Listen to music on a good audio system, enjoying a massage, and finding a warm meal when I get home after work. Story 35. A good night's sleep is rewarding. Sticking to a nighttime routine, sleeping well, and waking up ready and happy to start the day can greatly improve your quality of life. I experienced a significant increase in my life quality the moment I prioritized sleep and recovery, especially as someone who engages in a lot of lifting. Story 36. Taking a break without either of these two events occurring. 1. Splashback, also known as the traditional bidet. Contact with the toilet bowl. Story 37. Honestly, nothing beats the feeling of making a perfect shot in a game of basketball or hearing my favorite song unexpectedly come on the radio. Those small victories and surprises are what keep me going. Story 38. I appreciate many aspects of life and people. I admire someone's watch, shirt, walk, demeanor, haircut, a flower on the sidewalk, a cool cloud, the way some people move their eyebrows, clean rims on cars, cadence, handwriting, and old, rugged outdoor cats. The list continues, but as long as you can find beauty in most things, they can bring you happiness. Story 39. When I pick him up from preschool and he sees my face through the window, I hear him yell, "Daddy," as if I'm a celebrity. Story 40. Putting my feet up and thinking about life, business moves, and relationships, then going out and pursuing them. Story 41. Alone in an elevator, my wife leaned in for a kiss. We have been married for 18 years and have gone through a rough patch lately, so this small moment meant a lot. Story 42. Discovering new music and new movies or TV shows can bring joy to daily life. Simple pleasures include an appreciative nod, a smile from a stranger, or being noticed by someone. Finding forgotten cash in your wallet is always a nice surprise, as are cashback offers and refunds. Enjoying a satisfying meal after a long day can be fulfilling. Driving or riding on a rainy day with moderate traffic and good music enhances the experience. Spending time with friends over the weekend brings happiness. Engaging in witty banter and sharing affectionate hugs, whether romantic or platonic, enriches connections. The scent of a newly purchased item, like a car or clothing, can be delightful. Story 43. I feel like my presence is genuinely missed by those I care about when I arrive. Story 44. Pretty much any show about animals or science, complete silence at home, an evening walk, and a spirited drive down empty country roads. Story 45. My spouse laughing and noticing the little creases in her nose brings warmth to my heart. Story 46. My child's face when she sees me in the morning brings a smile to my heart. Her lips curl into a tiny smile instinctively. It's as if she knows everything will be all right because Dad is here. Story 47. When I make other people's days better, something as simple as holding a door open or helping a lady across the street brings me incredible joy. Little things like that make me truly happy. Edit. Amazing. I can't believe someone took my virginity. Edit 2. It's unfortunate that my highest comment has only 100 upvotes. Story 48. Good smells include rain, bread, freshly baked goods, smoked meat, and various candles that evoke nostalgia. Story 49. Oh, the shallowness of this Scorpio. 1. Bulge 2. Smile 3. Trimmed nails 4. Nerdy or dorky smile or personality. Story 50. Late at night, I come home. Work is difficult, I know. She left me roses by the stairs. The surprises let me know she cares. Story 51. Clocking out of work, especially on a Friday, means the building is no longer my responsibility for the weekend. Adding a 12-hour gaming binge to accomplish tasks after working out throughout the week makes it very relaxing to know that both my work week and workout week have concluded. Story 52. Being able to live in peace, undisturbed. The serenity of solitude is something many people sadly do not get the chance to enjoy. Story 53. When a song I am thinking about plays while I am shuffling my playlist. Baseball. I see equal rights, equal fights, and progress being made. Story 54. Eating food I cooked in private. The short-lived moments when my mind quiets while I'm awake. The smell of rosemary oil. When my computer heats my room from winter warmth to fall chill. Coffee ice cubes in my coffee. Staying up late when I don't have to work the next day. Being alone in large open spaces and taking a scenic break. When my medication works perfectly and colors start to pop. Eating cereal with my siblings and watching Rugrats. When I get a lucky break in a video game that makes it feel like an action movie. Story 55. The other day I was sitting outside with a cold drink while dinner was on the grill. I had Jimmy Buffett playing on the music streaming service. It was warm and then there was a cool breeze, and all was right in the world. Story 56. A freshly mowed lawn. I work with computers all day, so having a physical, tangible result of my work isn't always the case. In fact, it's very much the exception rather than the rule, So seeing the actual results of one's effort right in front of oneself is very satisfying. Or maybe I'm just turning into my grandfather. Story 57. Stretching in bed can feel effortless. Just lying on your stomach, you can sense the relief in your ankles and lower back. Story 58. People's reactions to the food I made for them. Serving someone a protein I hunted myself with bread I baked and meat I brewed is incredibly satisfying. Seeing the spread and knowing I created it gives me immense joy. Story 59. Riding my motorcycle, spending quality time with my mom, and catching a fish. If I can do all three in a day, I feel like I hit the lottery. I've only done it 2 or 3 times in 30 years. Today, I accomplished 2 out of 3. Story 60. A good book. Genre doesn't matter to me. Whether it's a legal thriller, horror, coming-of-age story, dark fantasy, or military science fiction. As long as it's immersive. I might plan to read for a few minutes and end up getting lost in it for hours. Story 61. A beautiful spring day with clear skies, warm temperatures, and a gentle breeze. The neighbors are quiet, and there is little to no traffic. Story 62. Unexpected time with friends is rare now that I am married and have a child with responsibilities. Everything is planned and for a limited duration. Tonight, I attended a wedding dinner months after the actual wedding for a friend. I didn't realize when it was or who was invited. I showed up and sat at a table with 5 of my closest friends and their wives. We had never discussed it. It was last minute, but we had an amazing 3 hours together. Story 63. A cold shower after a hard day of work or a workout is refreshing. It's also annoying to receive a wave from someone when they accidentally cut me off. Story 64. The things that make me happy are perfectly large. Thank you very much. Many would say any bigger and they would be unseemly. Barbaric, as the Greeks might say. Goodbye, fool. Story 65. My Harley. My parents' cats. Driving my car when a song I haven't heard in a while plays. Cold beer. Story 66. Getting off early on a Friday means a weekend with no plans. I enjoy writing, playing video games, and having a session of Dungeons and Dragons. I also like to lay down with my wife and find shapes in the popcorn ceiling. Story 67. Watering my garden plants and watching them grow a bit more each day. Enjoying a good meal after working hard all day. Savoring a nice cold beer on the weekend while smoking meat in my backyard garden. Story 68. Loving my girlfriend. Going to the gym and sauna, especially the sauna. Driving with little to no traffic. Enjoying good, wholesome home-cooked meals, whether made by myself or others. Having coworkers and housemates who make it easy to get along with. Engaging in sensory decompression. Taking walks. Story 69. Getting a message from friends asking me to play video games always puts a smile on my face. I don't particularly enjoy my own company, and I love being around other people. As an introvert who knows no one other than online friends, I will never pass up an opportunity to join them when they are all playing. It feels especially nice when they ask where I am or if I can play. Story 70. Tag someone you don't know how to, yet you love, but you don't want to gain, and you fear losing as well. Story 71. My first evening on a break from work, after everyone else goes to bed, and the house is quiet, I finally get time to myself for a few hours to do whatever I want. It feels like it's Friday after work. I live for that feeling. Story 72. A good double espresso with a bit of frothed milk enjoyed early in the morning in silence at a small mountain cabin. Story 73. Today, I was on my stand-up paddleboard. It was quiet. All I heard was the rhythmic sound of the water and the nose of the board cutting through the rippling waves of the lake. I began to trance out. Story 74. Sitting next to the fire pit, particularly while starting the fire, genuinely makes me feel calm and helps me clear my mind. Story 75. Cycling on my own, reading and watching the stars at night. I wonder if 3 of them are my grandma and some old friends. Story 76. Waking up in the morning, I feel fortunate despite the troubling things we are witnessing around the world right now. Story 77. Talking to my 91-year-old grandmother on the phone for half an hour brought me happiness. Story 78. Riding my motorcycle when it hits a sweet spot of RPM, the engine feels so good that everything else in the world becomes irrelevant. Story 79. I started growing a small plant and I smile at it for a few minutes while I water and trim it when I finish work. Story 80. On weekends, I spend time with my daughter. I notice new things she has learned since being at her mom's and in daycare. The most significant thing to me is seeing the new skills she has acquired. The second is enjoying beer while playing video games or having meals. Story 81. When a cat likes you, it feels special. Cats can be unpredictable, and they often don't show affection to just anyone. When a cat seeks your attention and comes to you, it is more meaningful than when a dog does. Dogs tend to be friendly with everyone, making a cat's affection feel unique and cherished. Story 82. Bringing kids to the park and having them enjoy a kid's meal from Wendy's makes everyone happy. Story 83. Simple compliments to my address. Late-night drives with open windows and favorite music. All alone. Tasty dishes made by me. Story 84. After getting a haircut and washing my car while it is sunny and warm outside, I enjoy listening to my favorite songs. Story 85. Driving my 1993 Honda during sunset or at night, when the roads are empty and quiet. Sometimes I play music. Other times I just listen to the car. Story 86. Listening to music in my car at night with the windows down as I think and reflect. It feels like the soundtrack of a drive or the vibes of 1980s Miami Vice. Story 87. My kids. It seems strange, but the tradition of connecting with them as a parent was difficult for me. Nowadays, I only need to look at my phone when they are not around to see their faces, and I instantly feel happier. Story 88. Sleep is that time before you have to work, when you're just lying in bed and don't have any responsibilities. Story 89. When I pick up my daughter from kindergarten, and she rushes to me and jumps into my arms for a big hug. When I sit on the couch after work and my cat immediately jumps into my lap, curls up, and purrs at me. That first sip of coffee in the morning before anyone else is awake. Story 90. I work in education. I feel excited when I see a student, particularly one who has been struggling academically or behaviorally, reach a milestone or achieve a goal, even a small one. I also get excited when my plants start to ripen, and I can finally harvest something edible. Additionally, I appreciate moments spent with my wife. Story 91. I have quite a few. The sound of water, such as rivers, raindrops, and ocean waves. Wide open spaces. The relaxed atmosphere of seaside towns. Making older people laugh with my jokes. Discovering new favorite songs. Clear blue skies. Story 92. I enjoy spending time with my wife. The aroma and flavor of high-quality cannabis are delightful. I find satisfaction in seeing my landlord face continuous penalties and the property deteriorate due to their greed. Story 93. 1. Driving on an empty highway is peaceful. Watching the snow or rain fall outside makes me appreciate the dark, cold days. They feel cozy. Hearing my son laugh at something I did brings me joy. Story 94. I aim to complete everything on my agenda. If I can get a good workout, submit any outstanding work before 5, study for 3 hours, and spend some time with my girlfriend, I feel that I have had a great day. Story 95. It's time to play video games, watch anime, or do something else I'm in the mood for. I also enjoy chilling in bed with my girlfriend. Story 96. Crickets chirp at night, the scent of honeysuckle flowers, and the fresh feeling after shaving or trimming facial hair. Story 97. When my wife says she is going out with our child, I love them both, but I also appreciate my free time, even if it's just for a short while. Story 98. Getting paid. A stick. A good book. Nap or sleep. A hug. Cooking, the process, the knives, pots, and pans. Seeing a stranger happy. The innocence of children. Sunsets and sunrises. A gentle breeze. Aromas and fragrances. A shower. Riding a bicycle. Going to the gym. Watches. Fountain pens. reading stories to children, fixing or building things, hair clips that go chomp chomp, any video game from my childhood, a night walk, a shoulder massage. I could go on. Story 99. Coffee, nicotine, beer, music, books, and games are my favorite things. I enjoy anything competitive that allows me to play with friends. Story 100. All those intoxicating, warm moments that seem to come in waves when you are first infatuated with someone, and things are going well. Oxytocin and dopamine are being released during those times, and if I could bottle that feeling. Story 101. Sitting around, drinking beers and chatting with my two best friends about the old days brings me great joy. I don't get to see them often because I live abroad now, but when I do, it is the happiest I have ever been. Seeing my nephew sprint from his house, screaming my name, and witnessing the pure happiness on his face is also a highlight for me. It embodies what I picture when I think about unconditional love. I could be gone for months, but I receive the same warm welcome from him every single time. Story 102.1. Actually getting 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep becomes much harder as you get older. When people reach out to me unsolicited to make plans or talk. Walking in the door, my wife stands up to greet me and give me a hug. Story 103. When my wife kisses my cheek before leaving for work, nothing in the world makes me happier, and I carry that joy with me throughout the day. Story 104.1. Being outside when no one else is, whether in the morning or at night. Having enough time during the day, especially on sunny and pleasant days, to take a nap in the sun. Everything being exactly as I left it when I return home. Story 105. A fully charged phone battery, a pleasant-smelling cologne, and a large joint served to me by a woman with an even fuller figure. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.